It's the voice of Indiana County, WCCS, AM 1160, 101.1 FM, Indiana in the Morning, presented as always by First Commonwealth Bank. His name is Rodney Smith, and he's on the line with us now from Georgia of all places. But he has a very, very active history, let's put it that way, and he has some company activities here in Western PA as well. The name of the company is, let's get it here. I want to get it straight because I know I'll mess it up. Georgia Firearms and Security Training Academy. Rodney Smith, how are you? Good to talk with you.
Hey, Todd. Great for having me. And yeah, what a beautiful day it is down here in Georgia as well.
Yeah, we're having a great one up here, and you're having a good one down there too. So that's good stuff. And while we have those happy thoughts of blue skies up there, there is always, in today's day and age, a sort of a background that we don't want to have, and that is the threats to our safety and security. And in this area of Indiana County, those threats have been manifested in a number of ways. The threats against churches. We had a church arson fire earlier in the year. And, well, you're all about that. Your company does a number of different security measures in a number of different arenas, but you've expanded actually into self-defense and firearms defense within churches, haven't you?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I developed my company right after the South Carolina shooting with there in the historical Black church. We started July 1st of 2015. Ever since that date, we've trained dozens of churches and hundreds of security personnel down here in Georgia. Went over to Missouri as well. Up to Great Lakes, Green Bay area, and then Pennsylvania, 3 or 4 different times to train churches, getting them prepared for an active shooter, active threat situation, and even an emergency situation that would be like hurricanes or fires, or preparing them for the unexpected.
You, of course, are originally from this area. You graduated from Laurel Valley High School. Just up the road a bit. It's no longer an active school, and we lament that. But let's talk a little bit about your activities here in this area.
Yes. Last year, it was June, we went up to the Greensburg area. I was up there a couple other times as well. Did some training to more of an enlightenment training for what we call the leadership workshop for churches that are looking to get started on some kind of program to enlighten their security as well as their congregation to be prepared for the unexpected, again, active shooter, active threat type of situations. And then just last week we were up there in the Greensburg area at a local church, and we held our 16-hour course that I developed. It's 8 hours classroom and then 8 hours on the range. And then the classroom consists of, what we're trying to do is trying to make the security personnel actually armed or unarmed security guards to be able to respond in a timely situation at any event. We do situational awareness. We do liability issues. We actually have U.S. Law Shield come in and talk about liability issues. We do security measures, security patrol. All we're trying to do is make these guys or individuals. We had 6 women in this last course, which is fantastic. But then once we finished the classroom portion, which is that was Friday, and then Saturday we went to the Irwin Sportsman Association, and then spent several hours there doing our basic pistol and intermediate level skills, getting these guys prepared, teach them how to draw, teach them how to shoot behind cover, shooting and moving, all kind of stuff like that, to where if something does happen, at least these guys are qualified to be able to carry a gun and be able to respond in timely situation. As we know, law enforcement is minutes away when seconds count.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Let's talk a little bit about the way churches are constructed. Many of them are historically very old buildings, which makes that a problem for getting out of a building, for evacuating people. And sometimes there's just no time for that anyway, even if a church was built in such a way that folks could get out easily. That really makes the idea of protecting your fellow worshipers within a church paramount, doesn't it?
Yes. What we like to do is actually do an assessment first. What we do is we go out there and do walking around the church internally, externally, do an assessment, just like you said, that these churches are not built for an active shooter, an active threat situation. They're built years ago. Even some of the new ones they're building right now are not prepared. And what we do is we do an assessment, maybe cover up the windows with some kind of film to where you can see out, you can't see type in, locking the doors. Also, internally, be able to lock the doors in case of an active shooter situation, some kind of locking devices, things of that nature like that. We're thinking out of the box if there is a situation like that to where these people can actually lay to an area, lock the door, and then wait for the good guys to get there type of thing. So there's a lot more than just teaching people how to shoot a gun. There's a ton more, because our objective, what we do down here in Georgia, is that we actually train the whole congregation. We'll actually go in and do our situation awareness and active threat training, and we train the congregation to where the pastor might have a keyword type thing that the congregation gets down behind the pews, and then the good guys get up, which is the armed security guards. They get up, and then, of course, to stop the threat, whatever case may be. But our training, we call it security from the parking lot to the pulpit. So in other words, you have external security out in the parking lot patrolling while the service is going on. You have internal security walking around while the service is going on. And then you have your security personnel strategically placed throughout the congregation. They have area responsibility. I train law enforcement officers down here in the state of Georgia. I'm state certified. I train active law enforcement, retired law enforcement officers on their annual certifications. I spent 13 years as a firearms instructor for the state of Georgia. I also train unarmed, armed security guards and private detectives for the Georgia Board of Private Detectives and Security Agencies, which is the Secretary of State. Mm-hmm. And so I developed a course exclusively just for churches. And so the people that have taken our courses are heads and shoulders above anybody else. A lot of churches we run into say, well, we have police officers here and on Saturday or Sundays, and we have police officers out in the parking lot, or we have X amount of people sitting in the church with guns. Well, that's the OK Corral attitude, because you have nobody specifically designed and designated to be able to act and respond. So the big thing is, you have security and medical personnel assigned on Wednesday services, prayer groups, vacation Bible school, stuff like that. Or they're there at every event. And this is what we're trying to get across, because the bad guy is not going to go in there a certain time of day. In fact, the South Carolina shooting happened on a Wednesday evening prayer group.
Yeah. When a church has contacted you in the past and wanted your services for training of their personnel, has it generally been because something has happened or a threat has occurred, or is it just somebody being cautious and wanting to do the right thing?
Most of the proactive. I think most of them are all proactive. Now, there has been some churches where there's situations in the past. There's multiple scenarios type thing. But yes, 6 one, half dozen the other, 50-50 on that. Most of the time, it is actually, believe it or not, it is really somebody from the congregation contacting me and say, "Hey, could you please contact our pastor or somewhere, because they're very concerned. Most of the parishioners are very concerned of what's going on."
Yeah.
But then again, we have some pastors calling us as well and things of that nature like that. So we have a wide variety of training courses. It's just not all about guns. We train in less lethal defense, stun guns and tasers. I'm not a big fan of OC spray, but we have medical training too. First responder, be able to put tourniquets on, sunken chest wounds, things of that nature like that. Liability issues, liability training, security training. So it's just not all about guns. Now, we do have quite a few churches that do not want guns in their church, which is fantastic. But they still need a qualified security personnel or security team.
Room clearing is a big deal too, isn't it? Learning how to get out of the place. Yeah.
Well, what room clearing is when the good guys are actually clearing the building, clearing the room for a bad guy.
Oh, I see.
Okay, that's what we call room clearing. Now, we call that would be they're evacuating, where the congregation is going to evacuate. We are creatures of habit. We normally are going to escape the same route that we come in. And that is born in us, that is corrected by us ever since we were baby kids. Here we're walking up to the emergency door says, no exit, and mommy slaps you in the hand. We don't go out that door. Well, that's been embedded us ever since we're kids. And so we're creatures of habit of going to where we come in. And so we have to get in the habit of finding our nearest exit, going out that exit. Also have a plan of attack to where, okay, if something does happen now, where are we going to lay to? Or are we just going to hang out in the parking lot? Or are we going to run to an area that we can, escape from, type things that nature like that? And, if we don't train, we're not going to have a plan. So we are one thing, another thing that we do, we actually help to write SOP, which is Standard Operation Procedure, and EOP, which is Emergency Operation Procedures for the church. And I have not yet had a church yet that actually had those plans in place.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's not their first priority because, well, it's just not something that comes to mind.
Exactly.
For all these years, for decades, for generations. We've been looking at our church as our place of sanctuary, and all of a sudden, sanctuary's been invaded. He is Rodney Smith. It's Georgia Firearms and Security Training Academy. Folks, go to the website. They can learn more, yes?
If you go to, of course, www.gafasta.com, that's our website. And also Facebookers, we also have a great Facebook page, which is gafasta.com as well. We are actually planning, scheduling another trip up to PA late August or early September for our concealed carry course. That's more an advanced type of training course. That's probably going to be up at the Irwin Gun Club as well, Irwin Sportsman Association. But people can contact me, call me, email me. There's actually a contact page for email on my website. All
right, very good, Rodney. Thanks for being with us here this morning.
Thank you, sir. Hey, Todd, thank you very much for having me, and God bless you, sir. Thank you, so.
And you. It is the voice of Indiana County, WCCS.